Now, Pavarotti was a good friend.
Hello. Welcome to The Revealing. I am your host, Pavarotti. I'm here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. As a disclaimer, this channel is for entertainment purposes. These are my opinions. I'm not here to slander anyone. Let's get started. You know, it's kind of cool these days. I can wake up and it's almost like Candyland. And I say that because I watched a video this morning put out by Bubbly Waters, who is absolutely amazing. And let me tell you why. Because the video that she did, she took video that was put out by Get a Clue or Brent Packenberg or whatever he's calling himself these days. And this guy was in possession of these videos for over a year. And he analyzed every sound, feature, movement, everything you could imagine for that year. Every little tick and tock. And as I've said many times, it's like playing a game of guess that sound on the radio. Nothing you listen to on audio is ever going to be taken seriously as evidence, because you cannot truly identify what's happening on audio based on sounds. And you certainly can't prove anything based on sounds. However, the only exception to that rule, and I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, is when you hear people talking. Now, people talking and saying words that are legible is absolutely evidence. It can be verified and it can be used in evidence, and it has been used in evidence in many cases. And what Bubbly has done is taken his videos and listened to the sounds, and she has found actual evidence that can be used in a court of law. Excellent job. You are the girl, let me tell you. And what's really strange is it kind of messes up my theory just a little bit, because I've always assumed that TF, because of his warrants there in town, would have been out of town during the time of the atrocity, because he would have been the prime suspect. And believe me, law enforcement, they investigated him hard because he is an informant in this case. And even the New York Times stated that law enforcement was investigating a local white supremacist. That's TF, folks. And there is only one reason to investigate him, that's because he was set up by the mothers in this case, and he has real ties to that Aryan family. And when people hear me say the Aryan Brotherhood, they think I'm crazy because I mentioned the Aryan Brotherhood with a broad stroke. Now, when I'm talking about the Aryan Brotherhood, I'm talking about that group that was actually taken down by the FBI with ties to Moscow, trafficking drugs into Moscow. They took them down. They've been arrested, and I've got so much on them. It's kind of crazy. I mean, they were absolutely involved, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. I mean, the last chapter of Howard Bloom's book, it starts off with the defense investigators. The first stop was in the Seattle DEA field office. Guess who took down the drug trafficking organization? The Seattle DEA field office. They got the credit for it. I mean, many agencies were involved in it. But why would Kohberger's investigative team start off at the Seattle DEA field office? Figure it out, folks. They know what's going on because they got all the discovery in the case. They know which way that the law enforcement investigated this thing. So they just followed their path. Law enforcement just somehow ended up on Kohberger and then just stuck with that because that was the easiest thing for the local guys to do, to be able to get a conviction in this case and put the town at ease. But that's not what's really going on here. So anyway, Bubbly Waters has found absolutely evidence that places TF at the scene of the crime. Somebody saw him walking through the Queen Road neighborhood and recognized him, because he's a very recognizable figure there in town, I assure you. He's been in that town for a long time, and he knows a lot of people. They seen him walking through the neighborhood, and they called him out by his name. Said, I see you, I see you. You can tell he was trying to hide from them as they were yelling for him. And I see you, TF. And she found it. She found audio. But she found it in Get a Clue's audio that he's held captive for over a year and listened to every little thing on. So how did he not hear that? He heard it. He heard it, and he either ignored it or he hid it from everybody, because that's what he does. He's fed. He's designed for misinformation, and he wanted to come out and dog Bubbly Waters for what she's heard on these videos, and I'll be danged if she didn't do it. Listen to this quick excerpt just to prove it. So anyway, my hat's off to you, Bubbly. Great job. I mean, you're obviously ADD like me, and you go into things and you find things other people don't find. So, folks, I've got that other video being prepared now. I'm doing some final edits on it. It'll be out here in just a little bit, and it is absolutely it tells a story that nobody can deny. Nobody's going to be able to deny this story. This is what happened in the investigation. This is how they got to Koberger, who didn't do it. But it's clear as day now. Putting all the information about EB into the timeline with the DoorDash, the Amazon warrants, everything. We can watch this thing unfold in real life. So be looking for that video, because I assure you, you're going to have your eyes opened in that one. But please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your thoughts, post your comments, criticisms. And until that next video, Pavarotti's out.